Welcome to the report presentation for the second quarter of 2026 by AI and automation company Done.ai Group. I also welcome CEO Staffan Herbst.
Thank you very much, Matthias.
Nice to have you here today, and please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you. Hello and welcome all to the Q2 2026 presentation of Done.ai Group, and an update of our mission to build a one-stop shop for SMEs that brings together every tool that a business needs to operate. My name is Staffan Herbst and I'm the CEO of Done.ai Group. And today I will cover our quarterly financial results, and then I will move on to updating you of our launching products and where the company is headed. So let's get into it. Done.ai Group had another strong quarter of 2026, where we generated reported revenue of 139 million, up from 61 million in the year before. Comparing to our pro forma revenues in Q2 2025, we grew by 14%. The group generated an EBITDA of 6 million and an EBITDA margin of 5%. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Done.ai Group from before, I would like to repeat a few facts about the company. So the group launched its new strategy under our new name beginning of 2025. And since then we have completed 17 acquisitions, and we have 15 products and services live with customers in the market today. And we have grown to 290 people working for the group. We have 15,000 direct customers across our subsidiaries and access to a further 30,000 through our exclusive partnership with the Nordic ERP provider Finago. And looking at the Q2 2026 performance in more detail, we present both reported and pro forma numbers next to each other, as pro forma figures gives the most comparable like-for-like view when acquisitions are not present in the reported figure. And as I mentioned on the previous slide, our reported revenue was 139 million compared to 61 million in Q2 2025. And on a pro forma basis, including all the businesses that we own today in last year's figures, that leads to a growth of 14%. The group have reached profitability on the operating level today, with a reported EBITDA of 6 million, with significant upside still ahead of us. We remain fairly committed to our 2028 targets of reaching 1 billion in revenue and 20% underlying EBITDA margin, and this quarter moves us closer to them. Done.ai's product suite can be split into three main segments. Financial products, which integrates lending, cards, spend management, debt collection, and debt collection directly into our customers' workflows. Our software and AI products, which include HR, MRP, payments, and other software that our customers use to grow and to operate their businesses. And our business services, which is our professional services arm supporting customers across our portfolio in advisory, accounting, marketing, and recruitment. This segment accounts for roughly 50% of our revenue today, while our financial software and AI products account for the other 50%. Our services arm represents a strength for the group, because businesses today spend far more on the people doing the work than on the software itself. And while most software companies are racing to sell their products into someone else's workflow, we already own that workflow. So for Done.ai to succeed, we don't need to go and do cold outreach to get new customers. Instead, we can use technology to make our own people more efficient, and that in retrospect also our margins better, while we at the same time have a large distribution for cross-selling to our own product portfolio. And all of this feeds into our centralized data platform, which lays the foundation of our AI layer, which gives customers the insights and advice. And what we're building towards is a clear shift toward more recurring revenue and higher margins for our company, all driven by our Done.os platform and the AI layer. So double-clicking a little bit more on the AI layer itself, and on the surface layer we can see the Done.os itself. That will be where customers interact with the platform and can take actions directly. At the next layer sits an AI layer trained on our customers' data that suggests actions and can act on commands from the customer. And at the bottom we have the structured data, our own proprietary data on how our customers actually run their businesses. And that bottom layer, the data, is one of our moats. Every transactions that run through our platform and every invoice and every customer interaction makes that layer deeper and more specific to our customers. It knows real insights about real business processes because it's been trained on the same data that the customer use and operate on. And at the moment, we're currently integrating and structuring the different data sources across the group. And the next step is, of course, to train our AI on top of it. And the end goal is then presenting our Done.OS that doesn't just answer questions when asked, but acts proactively when the customer throughout its product portfolio. So in this slide, I want to go back to our path to our 1 billion revenue target. And it's decomposed into the underlying revenue streams that we see driving the target. And it demonstrates that no single product carries the plan alone. Growing our current business makes up for slightly more than 20%, which equivalents of a growth of approximately 7%, driven by cross-selling initiatives, new customer wins, and price increases. This can be compared to our growth this quarter of 14%. Our AI-powered CRM started onboarding customers in April this year and will scale through increased marketing and sales initiatives during the remainder of 2026. And of course, beyond that as well. And it will contribute with roughly 10% to the total target of 2028. Our Buy Now, Pay Later product is live in production and testing at the moment, and with a selected number of customers, and expected to launch fully in September. And it will contribute with roughly 24% of the target. Our corporate card and spend management product also expected to launch before the end of September, and we will contribute with another 12%. Our AI tools and credits are estimated to launch in early 2027, and another 12%. And finally, our broader financial product suite, which is factoring, treasury, business loans, and open banking, represents roughly a fifth of the growth, with launch timing still to be confirmed. And there are two main things that I want to highlight with our plan. First is that it's sequenced and concrete, and most revenue contributions will start scaling from Q4 2026 and beyond. And as well, that we have no single product throughout the plan that carries the plan by itself. So going into a bit more detail on our product itself. If we start with our CRM product, it was built to solve the problem that many SMEs sale processes and that many sale processes lives in spreadsheets and email today. That leads, of course, to missed follow-ups and missed opportunities. So setting up workflows and these kind of CRM is exactly the kind of task that eats up an SME's time and creates a hinder for people to onboard to new CRM tools. So Done CRM is equipped with its own AI assistant that can do it for you. So the businesses can spend more time on doing value-generated work and selling. Done CRM can also then automatically populate by reading the ERP data that you have through the one logging inside Done.OS. And we have a phased rollout strategy with Done CRM. And the initial phase was focusing on onboarding customers from our waiting lists, followed by a controlled expansion during the summer. And we are now going to scale marketing and sales in the activities for the remainder of 2026 and beyond. And as I mentioned, for our 2028 target, Done CRM is anticipated to contribute with revenues of 45 million, representing a 9% conversion of the SMEs that are reachable through Done.ai today. But let's move on to the BNPL and deferred payments product. Done BNPL is a product we have built together with our banking partner, Nordiska Bank, and it solves a concrete finance problem for the Nordic businesses today, where we can provide them and their customer the ability to defer their invoices directly inside their existing workflows. Businesses in the Nordics have an average 54-day wait to get invoices paid, and experience lost deals due to that customers are not having enough payment flexibility, leading to cash flow getting stuck on both sides. So our BNPL product gives the businesses, through a QR code on the invoice, the ability to provide their customers with flexible payment terms while they get paid immediately. And for accounts payable, received invoices can be deferred through one click directly inside the ERP. Our banking partner Nordiska holds a banking license and are the ones that are lending the capital. Hence, Done.ai holds no credit risk in this product. And the product is anticipated to contribute to revenues of more than 100 million to our 2028 target, but that represents only a 1% conversion assumption of the total invoice volume that we are reachable through the Done.ai group today. Moving on to Done Card and Spend Management is a product that solves a problem that I have had throughout my entire working life, which is expense refund processes. SMEs have corporate cards, but what they lack is control and visibility. Spend is invisible until the month end, when finance manually need to match receipts, collect approvals, and post everything into the accounting system. Done Card and Spend is designed to change this entirely, so that every card transaction posts to the ledger automatically. Spend policies and approval flows are set in Done.os, and AI can flag anomalies and alerts as they appear. That means that the product will be more like an accounting system with a card attached to it, according to rather than a spend management system sitting manually on top of it. So the revenue target for 2028 in this is 55 million, representing a 12% conversion of the SMEs that we have in the Done.ai group today. And to show you an early teaser of our Done.os, I've included this slide which will show you what it can look like. It's one login, one data core, and one experience, and the operating system that every SME needs. And to the right, you can see a dashboard of important business data and key KPIs, and in the middle will be the critical components that we see that contains a list of today's insights and suggested actions prepared to be executed on. And this is the surface layer where every product and service comes together. Accounting, financial products, software, AI products, and business services in one coherent system, and this is Done.os. So moving into why someone should invest in Done.ai Group. We are solving a distinct problem for our customers, and we have a large cross-selling opportunity through our existing distribution of 45,000 SMEs already in our network. We have recurring revenue across every business line. We run a high margin product strategy where no product carries the entire plan. And we have an AI-powered platform with a real data moat underneath it. We're operationally profitable, and we are on a Rule of 40 trajectory. Put together, these are not 6 separate reasons. In summary, we're profitable and a growing platform where every new customer and every new product makes the next one more valuable. And that compounding is just only getting started. So Done.ai is at the beginnings of its compounding phase, and the foundation is built and the cross-selling has started and our products are launching. I'm very much looking forward to presenting our coming quarters of our growing company and excited for Done.ai's future. And to keep up to date to our latest information about Done.ai, please follow our social media channels and our IR homepage, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Staffan, for that presentation. You mentioned like the CRM was launched in Q2. How has it been received?
We've had very good receival from our waiting list customers that we initially launched in April, which is why we basically opened it up for all of our customers. Of course, now we've had the summer months, so we have not done a lot of marketing and sales activities during the summer, but now looking forward to really scale those towards the fall. And as I said, it's going to be one product that's really important for our company, as it's an entry product that you can then enter into the Done.ai realm and then grow and expand to go everywhere with the full product portfolio.
Mm. And like you mentioned, during the current quarter, Q3, you're launching the BNPL and cards service. Could you, in more detail, describe what the business model looks like? Because it's going
Absolutely.
to do a lot of revenue.
Yes, of course. Now, of course, we are launching this product with our banking partner Nordiska. So basically, it's a revenue share structure together with them. It's all based upon that growing, of course, a larger credit portfolio, and the larger it can be, we mean that we can basically integrate these into the flows, and as such, actually create good terms for our customers, having it directly inside the workflows, meaning that will be easy conversion and such grow sort of a larger portfolio.
Yeah, and you carry no credit risk as well.
Exactly.
Okay, and your EBITDA margin was 5%. Are you happy with that?
I'm very content. I mean, it's one of the goals that we set out for the company. We started out, of course, with sort of acquiring a lot of businesses and are investing heavily in both processes and the product itself. And to keep a 5% EBITDA margin is definitely on track, and we're moving with strong force towards our 2028 targets, when the 1 billion and 20% underlying EBITDA margin.
And your financial goal of reaching 1 billion SEK by 2028, how confident are you to reach that?
I remain fully confident towards the target, and especially with these quarters that we had for 2026 and seeing where we're moving with new product launches and everything else. So yeah, the future looks bright.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of investors are following your news feed. Thank you so much for the presentation today, Staffan.
Thank you very much, Matthias.